Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is my hope and prayer that this video is actually going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I'm fine. Kisumu is fantastic. Maybe you could let me know where you are watching the video from, the county or the country. Raila Odinga yesterday held a major rally at Jacaranda grounds in Nairobi. And during that rally, Raila Odinga said so many things. But a few things stood out in his speech. One of them is the issue of Wafula Chebukati, that the three IBC commissioners went to his house demanding for bribes. And that the same commissioners went further after Raila Odinga refused to Tuju's house and placed a demand on Tuju. And Raila Odinga confirms that he in fact has evidence, and that Tuju also has evidence, both pictorial and video. And he dared Wafula Chebukati to deny, so that he can release the evidence. And William Ruto, in his typical fashion, responded to Raila Odinga today. So in this video, I want us to look at the response by William Samoei Arap Ruto to Raila Odinga. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is now. Let us get back to the main issue. And by the way, the 2027 general election is going to be determined this year. And we are going to witness high voltage politics in this country. And if you've been following this channel, I did a video here, and in that video, I explained William Ruto's strategy to outmaneuver or outwit Uhuru and Raila in their latest strategy. And one of the things I said was that William Ruto is actually planning to arrest some of Raila Odinga's key allies, especially the youths. Remember, in the last election, William Ruto used the hustler narrative to win the support of the youths. And from the way things are, Raila Odinga is winning the support of the youths. So William Ruto is going to target majority of ODM youths who are loyal to Raila Odinga. That is, Gaucho is going to be targeted, Nuru Okanga is going to be targeted, Makwiny Mubimba is going to be targeted, Alai Robert is going to be targeted, and many others. But that's not the object of this video today. Today, I want us to look at William Ruto's response. And for us to understand William Ruto's response, let me play for you the video of Raila Odinga talking about Chebukati.
Mimi nakuomba baba, hata tusikue siku nyingine mbili. Hiyo ufisadi yote, hiyo video yote ya Chebukati tutoe hapa, tufukuze mwizi. Ama namna gani? Kuna watu walikuwa wanataka kuonga hata wale wenzake, si bwana Gulie na bwana Bora. Nataka niwaulize hao, mlienda kwa jumba ya baba kufanya nini? Walizi baba walikuja kwangu kufanya nini? Waliniomba nini? Waliomba nini? Unajua kama mimi niko na picha yao. Hello? 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 Bwana Chebukati. Hello? Hello? Bwana Chebukati. Na bwana Gulie. Na bwana Boru. Kwa bwana Tuju. Vile ako na runinga. Ako na filamu. Si wakati mnaenda kwa nyumba yake, anaweza kutoa na atatoa.
Now, that's what William Ruto responded to. Now, pay very close attention. I know you might have watched this clip, but pay very close attention again to William Ruto now responding to Raila Odinga.
Customers if I may say. And sometimes it is overbearing in an office. I was listening, for example, yesterday, and that's why I know the job of a prosecutor is difficult. I was listening yesterday to one of our politicians who was alleging that members of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission went to his house. And he's telling this story 5 months after the act. And he's volunteering this information laced with insinuations that the officials had gone there for something he has not disclosed. It begs the question, if it is true, what were these officials doing in your house at your invitation? Being a candidate, how did you end up inviting officials of an independent body to your house? It also begs the question, you had an opportunity to bring up this evidence of alleged bribery before 7 judges of the Supreme Court. You did not. You have instead chosen to take this big announcement to a political rally. I can see that the job of a prosecutor is really difficult if you have to deal with such.
Now, in William Ruto's response, he's talking about maybe 3 or 4 things. The first thing he's talking about is why Raila Odinga invited Chebukati, Boya Mulu, and the other gentleman to his house. The truth of the matter is that Raila Odinga never invited these guys. And even if he invited these guys, Wafula Chebukati should actually come out and say that indeed we went to Raila Odinga's house. And this is the business which took us there. So Ruto is asking why he invited Chebukati to his house. Number 2, he's also asking Raila Odinga why he didn't complain before the Supreme Court. Of course, for me, that's a legitimate question. The first one is not legitimate. If Raila Odinga knew Wafula Chebukati went to his house for bribery and they have the evidence, why can't they just raise these issues? Why couldn't they raise these issues before the Supreme Court? Or they realized that the Supreme Court was not going to give them justice. And then, the other question which most Kenyans are asking, why now? The truth of the matter is that even Ruto is still leveling accusation on Raila and Uhuru now 6 months after winning the presidency. But there are several questions which William Ruto is actually trying to evade in his response to Raila Amolo Odinga. These are the questions which I want us to ask, because these questions are critical. Raila Odinga is saying that his victory was stolen. And William Ruto is insisting that Uhuru and Raila tried to bribe Wafula Chebukati. They tried to intimidate them. They even tried to abduct them. So which means when it comes to the issue of bribery of the IBC officials, both parties agree. Is it possible that Wafula Chebukati accepted bribery? Now, these are the questions which Ruto failed to ask in Mombasa today. Number 1, he ought to have asked why Wafula Chebukati went to Raila Odinga's house. What was Wafula Chebukati? Number 1, he ought to have asked what took Wafula Chebukati to Raila Odinga's house. Number 1, if you ask me, the first question which William Ruto ought to have asked is what were the commissioners doing at Raila Odinga's house? What took them there? And if they went as commissioners, how many were they? And what was discussed at Raila Odinga's house? If they just went to visit him because they are Kenyans, Raila Odinga is a Kenyan, then they just need to come out and say, for us, we went to Raila Odinga's house, and we went to his house because he was unwell, and we paid him a visit. Then Kenyans can go and confirm that indeed between this date and this date, Raila Odinga was unwell, so the IBC commissioners felt that one of their key players, who is Raila Odinga, actually was ill, and therefore they went to visit him. Otherwise, they should be able to explain to Kenyans what really took them to Raila Odinga's house, because they are independent commissioners. It's like now, if you have IBC conducting elections and the chairman is seen with William Ruto. So that's the first question which Ruto is trying to avoid. The second question which Ruto ought to have asked is, are there evidence? Because Raila is saying that these guys visited. So what Ruto ought to do is to ask for evidence, so that if Raila has evidence, then Raila Odinga can actually produce the evidence that on this particular day, Wafula Chebukati, Boya Mulu, and the other guy came to my house, and these are the evidence. These are the photos of them coming. These are the photos of us discussing. These are the video evidence. Remember, Rafael Tuju is a media guy, and these guys forgot that Rafael Tuju is a media guy. Probably Rafael Tuju recorded whatever they discussed at that meeting. So Ruto should actually ask for this evidence, so that in case these guys went to Raila Odinga's house, then they can actually be asked. But remember, William Ruto is keen on portraying Wafula Chebukati as a hero. So which means those might not be asked. But for me, that's another question which he ought to ask, whether there are evidence, and if there are evidence, where are they? The other question which they need to ask is, where did they go to after Raila Odinga's visit? You know, you visit Raila Odinga because he's a presidential candidate. The expectation is that we had 3 other presidential candidates. The expectation is that you also went and visited Wajakoya, or you also went and visited William Ruto, so that as commission they can say, we visited Raila Odinga, yes, but also we visited Ruto and we visited Wajakoya. So Kenyans can conclude that the visits were just normal. So they need to tell Kenyans that, of course, we had a meeting at Raila's house. Before that, we met Ruto, or after that, we went and met Ruto, and after Ruto, we visited Wajakoya. So those are questions which, for me, are critical. And the other important question is that, were the 2022 general election compromised? And if it was compromised, who compromised it? Is it possible that Wafula Chebukati and the commissioners felt that Raila Odinga and the group ignored them, and they took bribe from Ruto, and therefore they had to announce Ruto whether what come may? So that's another important aspect which Ruto ought to have asked. Otherwise, if he's just asking questions about Raila, then it means he's still trying to defend Wafula Chebukati, which is something which I don't think we will be able to deal with. And lastly is, what about Wafula Chebukati's reputation? As a commission and as the chairman of the commission, why didn't he go to Raila Odinga's house? And where were the other commissioners? All those questions need to be asked by none other than William Ruto, because now he's asking questions. And then I know for sure that Raila Odinga will use the next rally to respond to him. Personally, I'm not able to understand why William Ruto failed to respond to the question about the political elimination. Because I remember Raila Odinga telling him, Wewe Ruto, don't talk about eliminations in this country. Don't. Probably he was scared and he will never talk about them again. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. And it's my hope that Tulo, who is my friend, Absalom Odhiambo, Matakwebu Bimba, the Korokocho MCA, would be released. Personally, I never thought this guy would become an MCA. I remember when I was still in Nairobi, we would hang out, and he was one of those youths who just walk around. But he had a specific character. You know, he was never, you know, ODM has these youths who always come where people are, you know, they ask for money, blah, blah. He was not that type. So we hope he's going to be well. We hope nobody's going to hurt him. And we hope he's not going to be cowed. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day.